I think we're just like, listen, we ain't losing again. Like, this is messed up. We were on such a run, and Orlando came in and beat us almost too easily. Like we gave it to them almost at times. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
yeah, I'm still salty from Marta being just this snooty little girl on our field. Like, I felt so mad and disgusted at her. But she lost the Olympics, so it all works. I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Currently on Kansas City Sports Network, part of No Other Pod. Daniel Kooser, and the icing on my cake over here, Chris Wright. Look at him. The sunshine in my eye. What's going on, dude?
Oh, man, that should be on a card, right? That should be on a Hallmark card right there.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail, baby.
Cake. I love it.
What's going on? How was your weekend?
It was good, man. It was nice. Wasn't too busy. Olympics, obviously the home stretch of all the gold medals and stuff. So a lot of fun. A lot of entertaining basketball. Obviously soccer. So it was good times.
100%. Tom Cruise. Like, let's get after it, Tommy. I love that man.
Did you see they had, what was it, Dre and Snoop had like a little concert thing as well to usher in the excitement?
Some time travel moment or some, location travel. They just, now we're in L.A. See you in 4 years where we got rap.
And music that was popular in 2001.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I love it, though, so.
I don't know how Snoop became the official mascot of the Olympics. I don't hate it, but I don't know how that came about,
It's just a unique dude, man, and whenever he's partnered with anything, it's always interesting.
I've seen some fun memes about him. I've seen some fun dialogue about it in general, about how that Sha'Carri Richardson wasn't allowed to go to the Olympics last time because of marijuana. So by all means, let's have the biggest marijuana advocate represent the Olympics in 4 years. Like, it's so hypocritical.
Let's go to the city where it's like completely legal and just everywhere.
It's so wild. The devil's lettuce is alive and kicking, my friend.
That was funny.
Dude, this was a great weekend. I closed Tootsie. I cried for the first time in my life at closing a show. Whenever I close the show, I never really get emotional because I'm a robot and don't feel emotion. That's not true. That's not true at all. But I saw other people getting emotional. I saw this 16-year-old girl on stage just bawling, and I cried during bows. We got a standing ovation. The house was sold out. The crew came out and danced our final dance with us. So my wife got to come on stage and dance, which was kind of emotional for me. So, but that's done, and I don't got time to think about it too much, man. It's on to Jersey Boys,
When does that start for you?
That opens the first weekend of September. So it's up next, but I got improv coming up. I'm nominated for 2 awards the week after this, and then it's Tech Week for Jersey Boys. So
goodness,
pretty exciting stuff. And then when that's done, I'm gonna go to Cancun for a week, baby. So I will, talk to you later.
Man,
see you around.
Living a full life over there.
It's warranted. I'm gonna sit by a pool, by a beach, and do nothing, and I deserve it. I deserve that beauty. So we did not have a game to talk about at all. We just saw you beautiful people on Friday, and it's now Wednesday listening to this. So what do you talk about? You're like, what are you guys going to talk about? We haven't done anything. Well, there's a couple games on the horizon. A couple teams we're going to play that we don't know anything about, really. I can honestly say only one of those teams sparks my memory. Like, I'm like, okay, I obviously know Atletico Madrid. Like, people know that club. The other two, you kind of got to go down a Wikipedia rabbit hole. Not a lot of stats out there as far as Google goes. I'm sure you can try to get down on some international sites with some Google Translate maybe, but it's not the easiest. But we are going into this what's called the Women's Cup And it's just another competition, man, except this time it's just 4 teams. And 2 will play each other, and the winners face each other for the final, and the losers face each other for the third place game. So what are you thinking about this? Are you going to both these games, and will you stay for the whole day?
I absolutely will. I'm not going to lie. A Wednesday game at night, it's not my cup of tea. I live in Lawrence, so I got to hightail it back home and then, be up for work the next day. So I wish it was kind of both on a weekend, but I get it, man. I get it. I'm excited for it, though. I love international soccer. I mean, I'm just happy to have these types of opportunities come to Kansas City. So I'm all for it. Plus, I was in Japan in February, so I'm a little biased. Wherever I go somewhere, I always joke about how it's my second home. So, like, I don't know why. It's kind of silly. Like, when I was in Ecuador, I'd be like, mostly with Vanessa, I would joke and be like, it's my second home. Or San Diego. I'm in San Diego a lot. Japan. So when you go somewhere, you have, like, some type of attachment. You get to know the people. You want to go back. You enjoy the culture. So it's kind of how I feel right now. Obviously, the current, I think there's a good chance we're going to be really successful. But Kobe is a team I'm kind of my number 2 preference here.
That's so fun. How adorable. So you're not going on Wednesday. Is that what you're saying?
I am. I'm sorry. I am going. I am going. Yeah.
To both games on Wednesday?
Definitely the current game. The other game starts at 5. So it'll be kind of difficult, but I might be able to make it.
Now, your ticket gets you to both, right?
Yep.
Man, even if you showed up at like halftime of the first game, that's still pretty cool. You were getting 1.5 games for the price of 1, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, man, like, this is fun international soccer. It's a different style. It's different players you may never see in your life, right?
Yeah.
So just, if you can make it, go out there and support women's soccer.
I would have absolutely taken the day off work if I was available. It just sounds like a very fun time. The first game's at 5, second game's at 8, which means when that game gets over at 7, boom, they're clearing the field, and the other teams are coming out doing warm-ups like immediately, which is pretty wild turnover. So I'm excited to see that. It's not like they didn't do it before, right? Didn't they just do a doubleheader for the games in the Summer Cup?
Yeah, they had with a 4:00 game and an 8:00 game. So
see, that had a long break in between, though. That had like a 2-hour break. Yeah. Did you go to that one? Both of them?
I did not. No, I was scheduling. Yeah,
that's right.
What a tough time, though. 4:00. I mean, that's a pretty tough.
It is. I think the worst would be sitting for 2 hours. I guess you could go walk around the stadium or buy a bunch of expensive food. Whatever. It is expensive, and it's not a knock on KC Current. It's just stadium food's expensive sometimes. It is what it is.
Wherever you're somewhere where you can't control, like, your food and you're hungry, you're going to spend some money.
I mean, put it up against other food around the league. I'm sure it's similar or even better. You never know.
At least there's better options. At least there's significantly better options.
Oh, dude. It's every time I go, I tend to gravitate towards that, those flautas over in that, oh my God, what's that Mexican restaurant over there?
Yoli Tortilla? No.
Yes. Yeah. Yoli. That's like my place right now. And I'm like, man, branch out a little bit, try something new. But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? It's doing its job here. So, man, I before we take our break, I do want to acknowledge that since there was no game last week, we can't do a Holiday Distillery toast to the match, but we're contractually obligated to say Holiday Distillery is your place for all good beverages. So look at this 5 Farms from County Cork, Ireland, and that 360 vodka over there. I got 360 vodka bottle in my basement. It's the Royals Championship one. Not full, because I took care of that. Don't you worry. And it just sits as a little decoration. So Holiday Distillery, thanks for being a partner of the show.
Love you.
I'm going to take a quick break. Also want to make an announcement about our Mint Mobile text line. You can text questions and comments to the KCSN hotline powered by Mint Mobile at 913-407-6524. That's 913-407-6524. Send us anything, man. Send us compliments. Be like, man, you guys look gorgeous. Is it the lighting or is it just your hydration schedule? Let us know. and we'll answer soccer questions too if you want. So, gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with you. Stay there.
We appreciate you supporting KC Sports Network by listening to our podcast. You have helped us become the highest-ranked Chiefs podcast network in 2022 and 2023. And don't forget about our daily Substack newsletter, the best written analysis you can find on the Chiefs straight to your inbox every day. kcsn.substack.com.
With big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. So you can say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan's jaw-dropping monthly bills and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at just $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and limited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And if you're worried about keeping your phone number or all of your existing contacts, Mint Mobile has you covered. So ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for just $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/KCSNKCC. That's mintmobile.com/KCSNKCC. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/KCSNKCC. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
You know, you can text us about movies, man. We're always talking about movies as well.
True.
Did you ever play Borderlands on the Xbox?
I did not. I've never been into it, but I know pretty much everybody I know was into it at one point.
Yeah, fun game. Very fun game. I had high hopes for this movie. It sounds like the movie is dog shit. It sounds like it's not good. So I'm interested to kind of wait for streaming and see what that's about.
Yeah, I heard it was very good. That was disappointing because there's a lot of hype and a lot of excitement. And
yeah, but it has like a 50-some% for audience score, but like a 9 for critics. And I'm like, okay, critics are stuffy. I'm looking at the true fans, the true believers, the ones who played the game, and it's still below 60. So I'm kind of like, maybe I'll have it on someday when I'm just looking to get goofy and not think about nothing,
Right.
So, but hitting that movie pass, man, that's been pretty cool.
Yeah. I love it. And there's a couple movies coming out or upcoming, isn't there? That's pretty big deal.
Probably. That late summer run has always got something going on. Do you ever have an issue that when your movie pass charges that your credits did not load? You did not get an additional 32?
I've never had that issue.
Okay, so that happened to me the other day.
Okay.
I was like, well, how am I running out of credits? I know it should have just re-upped. And I had to do a live chat with someone, and they took care of it. So
Was it pretty easy to get resolved?
It was. I mean, it took about 5-10 minutes for them to initially answer the chat, but they did. And then it was they're like, cool, not sure why that happened, but took care of it for you. Anything else? So keep an eye on that, man. Make sure you're keeping an eye on your credits because they could just run out and just get free money from you.
Can't have that. Cannot have that.
I know you. You don't want to just lose money for no reason. I can't imagine you gambling.
I will throw a fit. I will pull a Karen up in there.
I can't imagine you going to Vegas and throwing money on craps or anything like that. Do you get into slots or anything?
Whenever I go, and it's not very often, but when I would take $50 and I'd be like, yeah, once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
And whenever I win, if I were to win, then I would pocket that and,
there you go.
At least come out ahead. But not as much of a thrill. I have more stress and anxiety than anything.
Sure. Producer Nick loves craps. What I think about craps is I put my money on something and they take my money. And I'm like, well, what happened? Someone explained these rules to me. I'd rather just go play some Avengers slots or something and win about $20 every now and then. You have no idea. Blackjack's a big one for me. And I bring about 100, Chris. And I'm like, when I'm done, I'm done. And then I go get another 100. And I'm like, now when I'm done, I'm done. And that's usually it. I don't do anymore.
I can't do it.
But it's a problem. I'm like, I can see myself getting addicted to this shit, and it's time to walk away. You know?
Absolutely.
Addictive personalities, dude. Okay. listen, Friday, or Wednesday, 8:00. You're probably listening to it on Wednesday right now. We play the Mamelodi Sundowns from South Africa. Is that right? Is that where Mamelodi is?
Correct. That is correct.
Listen, this club has only been around since 2009. That's when it was founded. They have nicknames, dude. They've been called the Brazilians, Banyana Bastille, Masanandawana. They've just been called the Downs and Cabo Yellow. I'm loving it, and I really like saying Masanandawana. But for short, I think they're just called the Sundowns. It's. I'm excited for this, man. They play at a stadium that the capacity is 28,900.
Wow.
Right?
I wonder what their attendance is.
They play in the South African Football Association Women's League, which is the top tier women's football league in South Africa. Apparently, they're the most successful women's team in South Africa with 6 titles.
Wow. Okay.
So them and the men's team are both owned by the same person in Patrice Motsepe, which is a South African billionaire businessman. So
makes sense now that you, of course, is a billionaire.
Yes, 100%. So it's, Wikipedia is what we're kind of going off of here. There's not a lot out there, like I mentioned earlier, but they appeared in the COSAFA Champions League, COSAFA Women's Champions League, which is part in South Africa. They're winning games by like 8-0, 4-0, 4-0 again, 3-1. It's not looking like it's hard for them to win a game. You know what I mean? So based off their scores against those clubs, and I'm not going to assume that those clubs are just straight trash, I think KC Current could have their work cut out for them also, because there's really no film to see them. You know what I mean? How would you really have to look up? What do you watch their YouTube stuff? See if there's any highlights on there? What do you do? How do you prep if you're Vlatko and the staff?
I mean, I'm sure they have some type of, access to more information or more footage than we do. But I think in moments like this, you just focus on what you need to do, right? You take care of the business on your end. Just focus on executing your game plan. And I think that's, probably what he's doing. And if we do that, I think we can get a good result. Just focus on yourself, right? Control what you can control. Execute the way you can execute. And if you can do that, I mean, you could beat any team in the world, in my opinion. Any club team in the world.
In 2023, they won their 4th consecutive SAFA Women's League title last December. So, 4 consecutive league titles, man. They're down there just having a picnic with these clubs, dude. And that makes me a little more excited because we have invited one of the premier teams in the world. It says that the club is ranked the best women's club in Africa for a second year running, and they are tied for 19th in the women's club world ranking.
Oh, wow.
So where's that? How do you find that world ranking? Where do
I'd like to see that?
That's pretty cool.
That. Yeah.
The IFFHS also named them the best women's club in Africa. These are a lot of acronyms I've never heard of in my life, so I'm just faking it till I make it, people.
I mean, what a credit though to the front office to go and get the best African team, bring them to Kansas City.
Yeah,
credit to them for bringing in Kobe, who we'll talk about in a little bit, but they're second in their table, their domestic table. So getting some of the best teams in the world to come to Kansas City and play on, the first, women's purpose soccer stadium. I mean, what an incredible credit to them.
Yeah. They have some FIFA World Cup participants on their team. As of right here, I'm reading 6 of them. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Some Olympic participants had played for them as well. And something of note, look at this. They included all, buddy. They had a Nike kit, but now they go with Puma. So they, I'm not a fan of Puma kits. I'm going to tell you, they're pretty tight.
I don't think I've ever had one. I don't think I've ever had a Puma kit.
Haven't you? It's they're different for sure, but Nikes are tight too. Kind of more a fan of Adidas, so
yeah.
But dude, you get in here. They have won the SAFA Women's League title 6 times. I total of 6, and 4 of those were consecutive. So, and as we mentioned, they've only been a team since 2009. So do the math. They've won it almost half the time of their existence. Are we worried about this? I mean,
what a cool opportunity for them, right? To come here and play, an NWSL team in one of the top 2 or 3 leagues in the world, right?
Yeah.
As you're reading some of that stuff off, I'm a little more worried. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little more worried now than what I was previously. But it's an opportunity as well, right?
I want to hope that they're facing bad competition. I really want to hope, because when you're looking at some of their goals scored and goals against, they score goals. They have played 13 games this year.
Oh my God, I'm just seeing the stat here.
And have scored 57 goals. So their goal differential, they've only allowed 8, by the way, in 13 games. Their goal differential is a positive 49. I'm seeing that in 2022, their goal differential was a positive 113. Is that... GD means goal differential, correct? Is this a misprint?
I mean, look, I'm not trying to question the quality of competition, but when I see something like that,
it has to be bad.
There has to be some teams that are just really, really bad.
It has to be.
But you know what? When you take care of business, that's what you're supposed to do.
But when a South African billionaire owns your team, guess what? He can also throw money at players and bring in the best players and the best coaches. He's a billionaire. So if he cares a lot about this, he's going to throw money at it.
So I think the question for me is, do you think he's interested in a share of Sporting Kansas City? Because we could use some influx cash there. But anyway, so cool. And
I just see their losses too, man. They only lose like 1 game a year.
Yeah.
In 2020, they lost 0 games. So they just keep winning. I'm enamored. I'm excited to see them. If we wipe the floor with them, I'm going to be like, okay, well, they play in a bad league then. You know what I mean?
So there's a team in that league. Thunderbirds Ladies is the team name. They are 0 wins, 1 draw, 14 losses. They have a negative goal difference of minus 56.
Whoa. So
I kind of imagine they ran up the score on that one. But
God dang. Okay. It's I mean, any international team is fun, but I'm starting to feel a little better about playing them.
But you know what though? You take a look at somebody like Chewinga, who played in China, right? Had astronomical stats. And it was justified. It was warranted. She came here and she's doing obviously exceptionally well. I wonder if there's any players over there that are a little bit of like unearthed gems or unknown players that will come over and get some exposure and could be a problem.
Yeah. That I mean, definitely a problem. Dude, I'm seeing that the stadium they actually play in has a capacity of 51,762. Whoa. Like originally I read 28,000, but now I'm actually in like the league page here and it's showing all the capacities of the stadiums. 51,000. The next closest is Coal City Wizards at 24,000. Good grief. Let's look at Lotus Versfeed Stadium. Yeah, that looks big. It's looks like they have some rugby games there. That's a big stadium for you. Good. Cool, man. I think it's going to be great. These other teams, I don't, are you familiar with this Kobe team?
I mean, not familiar. I did a little bit of research, obviously, right before
it's your second home. I just assume you know all about it.
I mean, Japan's a big place. Place. They can't make it everywhere, but
yes.
But in their in their domestic table, they're in second place as well with 22 games played.
Yeah, they were runners-up last year in their league as well and champions the year prior.
Yeah. I mean, they're a top team, right? Finished with 49 points last year, 15 wins, 4 ties, 3 losses, so they don't lose very much.
Mm-hmm.
With a goal difference of 27. And, taking a look at some of the top scorers for that league, they have their top scorer is 6, and then they have 2 that have 5. Kitagawa is their top scorer with 6 goals. Nuriyama and Takis both have 5. So I'm kind of curious. I should have looked this up before, but I wonder if any of them are on the Japanese national team.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, man, I'm excited about this one. I mean, what we're saying here is, top 3 teams in these domestic leagues are coming to Kansas City is what we're seeing.
100%. We're not bringing in slouches here, man. I mean, obviously I feel like we got to preview all these freaking teams. Obviously, we play the Sundowns on Wednesday, but we don't know who we play on Saturday. But I mean, you're bringing in the Japanese team that finished second in their league last year.
Yeah.
And then they were runners-up in their Impresses Cup, which is kind of like a FA Cup for Japan, if you will. And then they lost out in the group stage in the like a League Cup, like a more expansive. Is that like a Champions League thing? I mean,
yeah, it must be.
Gotcha. And then you turn to Atletico Madrid, and they finished 4th in their league last year, but were champions of the Copa de la Reina, which is a kind of another FA Cup for Spanish women's teams. They didn't go to Supercopa. They didn't go to Champions League. Or if they did, I'm not seeing any stats on that. So, but we didn't just say like, all right, what kind of international teams can we bring in just to spark some fun? It's like, no, we brought in legit international competition, and we're going to test ourselves and see what happens. And I got to tell you, I say, are we going to play our starters? Well, who's our starters, Chris? We're just kind of rotating shit. We got 5 on the bench ready to come on and put up numbers. You know what I mean? We got a full. It's like basketball. You just swap them off like hockey. It
was like watching the Olympic teams. It's like off come LeBron, here comes Steph Curry. Yeah,
Steph Curry. My God, my
jaw was on the floor those last like 4 minutes.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch the gold medal game, by the way, but I did watch the semifinal to it. And he put it on his back and just put them up with a couple threes there. And it was, I don't know. I love that man. He's so tiny compared to some of those other guys. And I remember when KU played him, when he played for Davidson in the tournament. I know exactly where I was when that game was going on because I was playing an intramural basketball game in Emporia State. And I was like, guys, the KU game's on. What are we doing? And we watched it at the rec center when we were done. So,
anyways, medal game was nuts, by the way. Like, it was back and forth. We had the lead and they got it down. I can't remember if they tied it, but they got it really close. In the last 3 or 4 minutes, Steph hit 3 threes that just absolutely put us over the top. And
got that golden touch.
And even the one of the last possessions, man, they cut it down to I want to say 4, 5, 6, something like that. And he had 2 guys on him and just shot it, just jumping back, 3-point, lobbed that thing up. I thought there was no way that thing was even going to touch the rim. Right in the bottom of the net, man.
I saw a screenshot of that. How do you say that name? Wembanyama? What's that guy? I'm seeing it in my head.
Wemby for sure.
Wembanyama.
There you go.
Wembanyama. Thank you, Nicholas. But he was just soaring over Steph, and Steph was just shooting, and it was crazy. It felt like it looked like the Monstars coming over Jordan or something. It was insane. Space Jam. What a great bad movie.
When you were a kid, though, that wasn't bad at all. That was thing of dreams.
What do you mean when you're a kid? I watched it recently. I had a great time.
Okay.
I just we watched both of them recently, back to back, and even the LeBron one, I was like, this is entertaining. Don Cheadle's acting his face off over here being a villain. Like, this is great. I can appreciate that. But no, LeBron's actual son, he of course he's not as good as people want him to be because he just wants to create video games, Dad. Everyone knows that. Did you not see the movie? He doesn't want to be a basketball player, but you forced him to be a basketball player. The documentary of his life. Everyone knows this. What else we got to say about these teams, dude? I mean, they're good. They're good in their leagues, and they're coming to be bad in our league. So here we go. Step into the danger zone, baby. We're about to take it on.
I wonder if any of the teams who did play in the Olympics, or any of the players who did play for their country in the Olympics, if they're going to be available, that we don't know, or if they're just going to kind of rest. And, I don't know how these teams are going to take this tournament in terms of if they're going to take it seriously or just a fun kick around. I'm kind of interested to see if they're going to be at full strength or, how hard they're going to compete. And same with us. Like, we're curious if Silkowitz would get any time, during the Femenil Nemeki tournament, and she didn't. So I wonder if she'll get some time against some of these teams. I don't know.
Don't doubt us. I think we're going to absolutely play our best and go for it because I really think that Orlando loss before this international stuff started fucked with us, dude. I think we're just like, listen, we ain't losing again. Like, this is messed up. We were on such a run, and Orlando came in and beat us almost too easily. Like we gave it to them almost at times. You know what I mean? So, right. Yeah, I'm still salty from Marta being just this snooty little girl on our field. Like, I felt so mad and disgusted at her. But she lost the Olympics, so it all works. I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee.
I mean, she's being a heel, right? She's doing what... but I wouldn't mind if
you think it was show? You think it was a production?
No. I think that was all her.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I hope we remember that bulletin board material, right?
Bulletin board. I think we are, man. And that's why you say maybe we see Silkowitz. I thought that before, but now I just don't know what Vlatko thinks. I don't know. I think we should try to have him on here and be like, Vlatko, what do you think? Talk to us.
Tell us your substitution strategy.
Tell us something. I'd love to get a little insight into that man's head because he has a team of very talented ladies and they are killing it game after game. And I just want to know how he deals with that. Like, how hard his decisions are to put the best player out there when he's got a team full of best players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
We lost one, though, this past week.
We did. Good transition. We lost Claire Lavaget. I've had a lot of text messages from some people about how I feel about this. People care what I think for some reason. But I've told you the same thing. I told them, and I said, this team has outgrown Claire. This team, there's really not a spot for her. She's not a starter on this roster. It just is what it is. We have built a roster full of superstars, and Claire's a sub at best. And that doesn't mean she can't go be a star somewhere else, but we've just done something special where we've outgrown her. Does that make sense?
Yeah. She was injured last year, right? Tore her ACL. Came back. Yeah. Maybe that, it's tough to say if that truly impacted her play, but maybe it did because we haven't seen a ton of her this year. But yeah, especially with Kristen Hamilton coming back, it's somebody else who kind of takes that position up top, with Bia being out. But yeah, I'm with you, man. We've outgrown her. You look at the roster when she came to the team, when she played, and where it is now, completely different team. We're much more talented. We have much more quality now. But what I love about it was a recognition on both sides to let her go and to let her go somewhere where she can play. I mean, she's not young, right? She doesn't have a full career ahead of her. And for her to be on the field every day, I think means a lot more to her than anything else. And I'm glad that the Current agreed and they came to some sort of agreement and she was able to go. And this, to me, is a reflection, too, of previously how bad we've been in terms of treating players, when they're going out the door. And, previously, there's been a lot of controversy. We've done a very poor job at the current half of treating players when they leave the team. And this seems like a complete 180. Gave a lot of respect and love to Claire, and that's something that I'm really glad we got to see.
I don't know. I don't want to say a complete 180 because a couple weeks ago, she posted on her Instagram, thanking Casey Current and leaving. And I'm like, this is the first we're hearing about this. It's I don't want to say the Current allowed her to post on her socials because she can post whatever she wants, but for her to make that decision to post before it is official, it's almost like she was going into business for herself. Because in this write-up, it says Lavage is now free to pursue an opportunity with Real Sociedad Femenino of the Spanish Liga F. So, where'd that team name come from? That's happening, I guess? She's going to go play in Spain?
Well, I mean, she played the game, right? So they're not going to let her, they're not going to put a social media post, right before she leaves. You know what I mean? They would typically do it after. And at least this way, it kind of allowed her to have a send-off. She came on, she had a big ovation. She stayed around and signed autographs, chatting with people. She was telling people she was playing in Spain, at the game.
Really?
Yeah. So I think everybody knew. Vlatko and the whole staff are nothing but complimentary of Claire. So I don't see anything kind of odd there. I just see that there was a bit of a different approach, and her letting everybody know, which was probably important to her, that she's leaving. This is her last game, as opposed to her just playing, not thinking much of it, and all of a sudden we get a press statement. And she's a press act as a human too. Everybody loves her as a human being. So.
I wish her the best. I mean, she's only had 31 appearances across all competitions for us. That's not a lot for when she signed in 2022. You know what I mean? It's not a lot. So it is what it is. She was always fun to come in. I think she was a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because of the way she carried herself. I don't know.
Yeah, she's easy to like. Everybody who met her spoke about how nice of a human she is, as a person she is. So
I think she mentioned that she really learned English coming here. She, even though it's not very good or whatever, she kind of made a joke I enjoy learning English to communicate with everybody. So wish her the best, of course. Dude, that brings us to the July Best 11. Lola Bonta, Dabinia, Kristen Hamilton on the NWSL Best 11, man. We just keep getting multiple players. When you're a fan of a team, you're happy if one player is on the Best 11. You are. You're cool, man. They made an impact this week, but we have 3, and it's not the first time this has happened. I love it. I love it, man. Labonta had a hell of a month. Dabinia broke out. Kristen Hamilton came out of nowhere. I just had a lot of fun watching these 3.
I think it was a great break for the players to come out and do something a little different, right, with this tournament. Kind of like the Challenge Cup. I mean, Hamilton and Dabinia were the 2 top scorers, I think, in Challenge Cup history. Mm-hmm. So for them to come in and have that success during this competition, it's a lot of fun. And it's a break from the normal grind of the NWSL regular season. So,
yeah. This isn't taking into account Lowe's amazing header. That was in August. So they're just taking into account that she played a lot of minutes and scored a single goal. That was that rocket from outside. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Seems like so long ago. But Dabinia had 2 goals in July Summer Cup play. And scored again in August. So look for them to also be in the August Best 11. They just keep it up, man. And she played all of the allotted minutes in July as well. Didn't come off, nothing. And Kristen Hamilton, dude, came on, contributed an assist and a goal. Then was the first player in the Summer Cup tournament history to record a goal and assist in consecutive matches. Cool. Very cool.
What a way to correct your form, right? Coming into you're leaving the first half of the regular season, right?
Yeah.
Gonna get back on track.
She was injured at one time, came back, and then kind of just lost her starting spot, kind of got lost in this large lineup. And I'm glad she's gotten a chance to shine and be like, I'm still here, motherfuckers. Like, I'm still a threat. Be scared. Be scared of your position because I'm coming.
And, when she comes on, if she comes on later in the game, not only were you dealing with Cooper, Chewinga, and, who are just running up and down the field like crazy, same with Davinia. Now you got Kristen Hamilton, who's a high effort, high energy, very talented player. That back line cannot take a break. You cannot take a break for 1 minute.
I don't want to be a damn goalkeeper. You got people coming at you and you're just like, and then someone subs on, you're like, oh, thank God they're subbing off one of their fast players who's just as fast. And you're like, shit, it didn't get any easier at all.
Who's fresh, by the way?
Just sounds horrible pressuring me when I'm trying to clear a ball or something. It just sounds scary. When I played soccer, there was always some fast guy coming. I was like, I'm kicking it out of bounds.
Well, that's what they do with Chewinga. That's what exactly what they do with Chewinga. Like, how many extra possessions the Current have gained this year because of that alone?
Mm-hmm. I felt good with the ball at the end of my little soccer career, man. I would do like a touch or two. But if it was a super fast person, I was like, well, I ain't fucking with you, dude. I am not interested in what you're bringing. Yeah. Sorry, little 21-year-old. I'm not having it. What's that? You play for the KU team? No, not interested. Thank you.
You kick it away and then you push them. Just let them know where you stand.
You remember when we played those guys who played for KU club or something?
There's KU club and some kids who played.
They don't have a men's team, right? They don't have a men's soccer team, but they play all the time. And I was like, oh, we're in trouble. We are in trouble today, Chris. Everyone just not get hurt. Have a good time.
We're doing hip swings on the side, every single stretch you could imagine for somebody over the age of 30. We're doing it.
And they just got on the field and went. I was like, y'all ain't going to warm up? No, okay, yeah. You guys just going to play? Cool.
They just showed up with their cleats, put in the shin guards, and ran right out there like it was nothing.
Some people didn't even put shin guards on. And I was like, what? Are they required? What are we doing? This feels important. Son of a gun. Those guys whooped our ass.
It was not as competitive as I would have liked.
Well, it wasn't fun. You got pushed during that match. That was that match.
Oh, yeah.
Might have been.
Yeah, it might have been.
Dude, I want to end our pod today with talking about U.S. getting back to glory. Gold medal. Women. The men, we don't care. We don't need to talk about them. Great
team. We have a team.
Brilliant mind, Alexi Lawless graded their performance as an F. And I say that with all sarcasm, brilliant mind. But he gave the women an A. And for once, I agree with Alexi Lawless, man. They had themselves a tournament and they did what needed to be done. It's showing good things for the future of this women's national team. Getting Mel Swanson back in the mix. That's all it took for this gold medal match, by the way. A Mel Swanson goal. And that's how it ended, man. And sorry for Brazil. Sorry for Lauren, who you, of course, want to see do well. But I do got it. I've become the biggest patriot in the world during Olympics. And now that it's over, I'm like, I don't care. But I was just like, USA, let's go. And feel bad for Lauren because she really got to shine a little bit, got to play. And just not good enough. USA got it done, man.
I thought she did well. There was one moment in time where she got burned by Swanson. She got caught flat-footed, which is, it's Swanson, so that happens to a lot of people. But that one moment was rough. But other than that, I thought she had a really good game. I thought she had a game it's going to be tough to retain her, I think, next year, even if we want to. It's too much talent, right? Just too much talent. Cook, Balasagar, Ball, Lauren, Gabby Robinson. There's no way that's not going to be our situation next year. I think Lauren's probably going to end up somewhere else. And I'm sure she wants playing time, right? She just started in the Olympic final and played fairly well. Sure. There's going to be a lot of teams kind of knocking out her door there, but Glad that she got a silver, but
yeah, silver is, I don't know, man. Jerry Seinfeld had a funny bit one time. He was just like, I don't get the Olympics. Like, you can lose by like a pimple on your nose in a race or something, you know? And he's like, and a bronze medal just means, okay, I went home with something. A silver medal just means you still lost, but here you go. You were the first loser. It's an interesting system because like you only really care about golds, but they try to make you care about the others as well as like nice consolation trophies. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Dude, if I got a bronze, I don't care what it was in. I don't care. It could be a team sport that I didn't even play a minute. If I got a bronze, I'm going to the grocery store with that thing around my neck. Like, I don't care at all.
You're the douchiest guy in the grocery
I absolutely
store.
will be. Like, I wouldn't even matter. I'd go set up my new checking account with that thing on. Like, it is what it is. But, you know, going back to the U.S. team, man, what a great way to kind of really correct where we are as a national team for women's soccer. And then just look at the youth who are not even close to their prime yet is incredible. Like Girma, Fox are both young players. Corbin, Albert, you know, you got the three-headed monster of Swanson, Smith, and Trinity Rodman. Like, there's such a good foundation for Emma Hayes to kind of build off of.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, for sure.
It's going to be great. I want to pose a question to you that Jimmy posed to me yesterday. But I can't remember the event he said, but there was an event where two guys, like, it was a deadlock tie. And the committee was like, we can give you both. It was like a long jump, I think.
Yeah.
We can give you both golds, or high jump, sorry. And we can give you both golds, or we can have a jump off. And the U.S. guy was like, jump off. I don't want to share a gold medal. And then that guy ended up getting silver. Would you have shared a gold medal because it's a gold medal, or are you pretty competitive and you're like, jump off, baby?
I think it depends on if I truly thought I could beat him. Like, if it's one of those things
what
where...
if you truly thought you could beat him? I mean, what if you were like, I think I can do this?
I don't know.
You're confident enough. You have tied this man. You're clearly good enough to tie him. So do you take your gold medal and be a gold medalist, or do you take your silver and go open your checking account?
I mean, a gold medal opens doors for life.
Sure.
You know, you got to look at it that way too. Like, you get sponsorships, you could go do a bunch of stuff. You get a gold medal for life. Silver, you know, it's a smaller checking account, you know. So
they are checking accounts are labeled at banks gold, silver, bronze. Like, gold is the higher perks and stuff.
You know, I don't know. If I truly thought I could beat him, I might do a jump off. If I don't think I could beat him, or if I'm just like, I feel like I was lucky to place where I was, I don't think I'd push my luck. So it just depends on how I'm feeling.
Fair enough. Something of note to this women's soccer game. It was Mal Swanson's 100th cap. Like, what a fun way to go out on that 100th milestone to score and win Olympic gold. And it was Sophia Smith's birthday. I really wanted her to get a goal. It was her birthday.
I mean, she made a great play by not touching that ball, because that would have been offsides on her that Swanson scored. But what a great redemption for Swanson, right? Like, dislocated her knee out during the World Cup, came back in and had the game winner. That just goes to show you, I think, how impactful she could have been if she was able to play in the World Cup.
I would have loved for Mal to get the golden boot. I mean, she only scored 4 goals in the tournament, but that was tied for second among all players in the competition. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
But they were calling themselves the Redeem Team. You know, if you remember, we got silver last Olympics. We lost out to Canada, or did we not medal? And we lost the semifinal to Canada, and they went on to win.
I think we got bronze. I think.
Okay.
I know they eliminated. I believe Canada eliminated us. But I think that was in the semi. But I could be wrong.
Oh, we got bronze. You are right. Sweden got silver. Canada got gold. Gotcha. But that one hurt. You know, I think we Canada going on to win the whole thing, and that was Desi Scott's gold medal. So that's good for her and everything. But
It's a COVID year too. That was the COVID Olympics in Tokyo as well.
Alyssa Nair had her badass save of the night when she, it's like almost during stoppage time, and just reaches out and like big bear palms that thing. It was epic to see in like slow motion, man. Full extension.
She didn't like bat it away like a block. She stopped it, like just had it drop in front of her and was able to retain possession. Not only an incredible save, but a very mindful moment of her not to just put that ball somewhere where anybody could get to it.
Yeah. As you mentioned before, Marta leaves without a gold medal, man. Her international career is done. She's had 185 appearances with Brazil, 6 Olympics, and 6 World Cups. That's pretty epic for any player to go to that many, seeing as those competitions only happen every 4 years. Do the math, bro. She's been at it since a young lass.
Imagine her life experience in the construct of soccer, right? Like, just her life experience is going to 6 Olympics, 6 World Cup, countless tournaments, just wherever soccer has taken her. I mean, what a journey for her. Absolute
journey, man. Dude, here's something I just saw. In the final match between Brazil and USA, they had 27 players out of 44 that were rostered from NWSL. That is the most of any league in any women's soccer gold medal game. It also included 12 players starting in the final. USA had 8 from NWSL. Brazil had 4. Pretty cool.
And I think it honestly made a difference is all the Gold Cup games, all those, competitions where, Central and South America and North America play. I mean, that just gives our national team so much more continuity, chemistry, the ability to build a team that, I don't know if other parts of the world have that same type of structure. I mean, there's no way the U.S. would be where it's at or Brazil would be where it's at without a lot of those competitions kind of mixed in there.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Absolutely. Dude, breaking news for anyone who cares. Sporting just signed a Spanish defender. So, kind of neat. Joaquin Fernandez. This is breaking news right now. I don't know. I'm not that excited about it anymore. It's just the team has taken a step back, right? It makes me hard to be pumped for stuff like this.
Sure.
Anywho, what else? We got anything else to talk about?
I mean, I'm having some Olympic withdrawals.
You are?
Yeah, but, the regular season is right around the corner as well. We play Washington on the 25th of August, so 12 days from when we record. So we're almost right back at it. And I don't know if some of those Washington Olympic players are going to play, but we'll find out. Maybe they'll get a game off for an extra week, but it's coming right around the corner, man.
I think that's more of a reason to play your best, dude, because we can't afford to just take a break right now because a great Washington team is right around the corner. So, I mean, you just can't rest.
Stay in form, hopefully.
Yeah, 100%. Cool, man. Well, if you got nothing else, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah.
Put a bow on a fun women's competition and open up a package to another fun women's competition. So we'll see how this week shapes out. Next week, of course, we'll talk about the 2 games that took place and preview the upcoming NWSL match. We're back in it, man. There are just no breaks, no time off for anybody. Hell of a time. As always, folks, hit us up. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever, at No Other Pod, at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21. Email us at nootherpod@gmail.com. Hit us with those 5-star ratings and reviews. Hit us on that Mint Mobile text line, 913-407-6524. And if you need anything else, we'll be back in a week. So, for Chris, I'm Daniel. Love you to the moon. See you guys.